Long before bustling cafes and baristas, our story begins on the ancient plateaus of Ethiopia, where legend stirs in the morning mist. Meet Kaldi, a curious goat herder who noticed his goats dancing with energy after nibbling on mysterious red berries. Intrigued, Kaldi brought the berries to a nearby monastery, where monks discovered that brewing them created a drink that kept them awake through long nights of prayer. And so, from legend to ritual, coffee began its journey, awakening minds, inspiring stories, and weaving its way into the heart of cultures across the world. Our story begins not in a cafe, but on the ancient plateaus of Ethiopia. Legend tells of a 9th century goat herder named Kaldi, who saw his flock dance with unusual energy after nibbling red berries from a strange bush. Intrigued, he shared his discovery with a local abbot. The monks found that roasting and brewing the beans created a drink that helped them stay awake through long evenings of prayer, giving birth to the ritual of coffee. From Ethiopia, knowledge of these beans journeyed across the Red Sea to the Arabian Peninsula, finding a home in Yemen. In the port of Mocha, cultivation and trade flourished. Sufi mystics embraced the dark brew they called kahwa, finding it an invaluable aid for their late-night religious ceremonies and a conduit for spiritual focus. By the 15th century, coffee fueled daily life in cities like Mecca and Cairo, where the world's first coffee houses, or kahvekhane, emerged. These were vibrant public squares under a roof, alive with the sounds of music, the intensity of chess games, and the rich, inviting aroma of freshly brewed coffee. Dubbed schools of the wise, these establishments became the epicenters of intellectual life. Here, scholars, poets, and merchants gathered to debate politics, recite poetry, and conduct business. Information was exchanged as freely as the coffee itself, making these houses vital nexuses of news and social commentary. The Arabian Peninsula fiercely guarded its coffee monopoly, but the secret was too good to keep. Carried by pilgrims and traders along ancient caravan routes, the bean began its march across the globe. Maps of the era trace this incredible journey, showing how this Arabian wine would soon conquer the palates of the world, forever changing social rituals. This legacy, born in the lively markets and candlelit gatherings of the Middle East, set the stage for a global phenomenon. The simple act of sharing a cup became a symbol of community, curiosity, and culture. So next time you sip your favorite brew, remember you're part of a story that began with dancing goats in Africa and blossomed in the vibrant schools of the wise in Arabia. In the 17th century, coffee made its grand entrance into Europe, forever changing the rhythm of city life. The first European coffee house opened in Venice in 1645, quickly becoming a gathering place for merchants, travelers, and thinkers. Soon, the coffee craze swept across the continent. In Paris, elegant cafes became the heart of intellectual and artistic life, where poets and philosophers debated ideas over steaming cups. But it was in London that coffeehouses earned the nickname penny universities. For the price of a single cup, anyone could join in spirited debate, hear the latest news, or even hatch business ventures that would shape the modern world. These early coffeehouses were more than just places to drink. They were vibrant centers of culture, commerce, and conversation, fueling revolutions in thought and society that still echo today. From Venice to London, the humble coffee bean sparked a social revolution, one cup at a time. As coffee's popularity soared in the 17th and 18th centuries, European colonial powers saw a golden opportunity. For years, the Arab world held a monopoly on coffee, making it an expensive import. To break this control and claim the profits, nations like the Dutch and French began cultivating coffee far from its roots, establishing vast plantations across their colonies in the Americas and Asia. Coffee seeds, often smuggled, were transported by ship to colonies in the Caribbean, South America, and Southeast Asia. A legendary journey involved French officer Gabriel de Cleo, who shared his water ration with a single seedling during a perilous Atlantic crossing. From such beginnings, lush plantations sprang up in places like Brazil, Java, and the Caribbean islands, forever changing the landscape and the economies of these regions. But this global expansion came at a tremendous human cost. The labor that fueled these plantations was forced. Enslaved Africans and indigenous peoples were made to work in harsh, inhumane conditions, clearing dense forests and tending to the delicate coffee plants, all to enrich distant empires. The profits from this brown gold fueled empires, building cities and financing wars in Europe, but this wealth was built on the backs of the enslaved. The suffering of countless laborers is an essential, if painful, part of coffee's story. Their toil and resilience shaped the world's relationship with this beloved drink. Today, as we sip our coffee, it's important to remember this legacy. The global journey of coffee is not just about flavor and culture, but also about the people whose lives were forever changed by its rise. By honoring their stories, we gain a deeper appreciation for every cup, connecting us to a complex global history that continues to shape our world today. The story of modern coffee accelerates in the 19th century, fueled by the Industrial Revolution's need for speed. In 1884, Angelo Moriondo patented the first espresso machine in Turin, Italy. His invention paved the way for pioneers like Luigi Bezzera, who refined the design for the single potent shot that would forever change how the world drinks coffee. Soon, bustling Italian cafes became the heart of city life, a trend mirrored in the grand coffee houses of Vienna and Paris. The hiss of steam, the clink of porcelain, and the rich aroma of espresso drew artists, writers, and dreamers together. Cafes were no longer just places to drink. They became vibrant social spaces, pulsing with conversation and creativity. As coffee culture spread, so did the business. By the early 20th century, coffee was a global commodity, shipped in bulk from the bean belt to consumers worldwide. Advertised in newspapers and packaged in colorful tins, it became a daily ritual for millions, fueling both work and leisure and connecting economies on an unprecedented scale. The 20th century brought more innovation. In 1947, Achille Gaggia introduced a high-pressure lever machine, creating the rich golden brown foam known as crema, the hallmark of authentic espresso. This perfection gave birth to iconic drinks like the cappuccino and the macchiato. Across the Atlantic, American diners and coffee shops became symbols of community and comfort. Then came the second wave. Brands like Starbucks and Peet's Coffee transformed the cafe into a third place. Not home, not work, but a welcoming space for everyone. They introduced the public to specialty beans and darker roasts, shifting the focus from convenience to quality. Coffee became more than a drink, it was a lifestyle, a culture, and a global phenomenon. From the invention of the espresso machine to the rise of global coffee culture, each innovation has shaped the way we connect, create, and caffeinate. The journey of coffee is a story of invention, community, and endless reinvention, proving that a simple bean could truly change the world. In today's world, coffee is more than just a drink. It's a craft, a culture, and a global connector. The third wave movement celebrates every step from bean to cup. Artisans carefully source single-origin beans, farmers are recognized for their craft, and every cup tells a story of dedication and ethical choices. Around the world, people gather in vibrant cafes, sharing moments, ideas, and laughter, united by their love for coffee. Coffee's journey from legend to global phenomenon continues, shaped by passion, innovation, and a commitment to a better future for all. As you sip your next cup, remember, every brew connects us to a world of stories, traditions, and dreams. Here's to the future of coffee, crafted with care, shared with joy, and always bringing us together. If you enjoyed this journey through coffee history, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more amazing stories.